Pedophobia, the fear of children. Today I'm going to talk about 4 youngins who have put more fear in grown-ups than seeing a sealed jury summons envelope in the mail. Being that we are in the first week of October, the month that houses Halloween, today I asked, who is on the Mount Rushmore of scary-ass kids? The first head on that mountain belongs to a 12-year-old girl. It's Regan McNeil, better known as the scary-ass kid from The Exorcist. The Exorcist consistently lands in the top of most everybody's scariest movies ever made lists. It's disturbing, it's vulgar, it's downright frightening. And most of what makes it this way is one Regan McNeil. She does some truly sinister shit in this flick. I'm just gonna bullet point some of the more outrageous crap she pulls off. She desecrates a church by very crudely adding clay breasts and a penis to the statue of the Virgin Mary. She pisses on the carpet in front of a bunch of her mom's house guests. In one of the film's more disturbing scenes, she repeatedly thrusts a crucifix in her private area right before she turns her head 180. I can stop there, but I won't. She projectile vomits some of the nastiest looking green spew from her mouth. She speaks in the voice of a priest's mother who had just died right to the priest's face. That shit's cruel. Oh yeah, she also claims she's the devil. Pick any one of those things and you got a pretty fucked up kid on your hands. Put them all together and you got one of the scariest kids of all time. The part of Regan was played by a then preteen Linda Blair. She beat out a crap ton of little wannabe demon-possessed girls to win the part. The director picked her out of the masses, not only because of her talent in what was obviously going to be a very challenging role for anybody, let alone a little child, but because he thought she was mature enough to cope with the subject matter. Hell, some big-time directors at the time didn't even want to touch the project, partly because they thought there would be no way they could find a little girl to carry a movie like this. The visuals that Regan gives us in the movie, from the head spin, the vomit, which was a mixture of Anderson's brand split pea soup and oatmeal by the way, and the infamous spider crawl, have made their way into many a grown-up's nightmares and branded themselves into pop culture. So, from a possessed little girl to the son of Satan himself, I give you the second head on that mountain, Damien Thorne, better known as the scary-ass kid from The Omen. Damien was born on June 6th at 6 a.m. That's right, he came into the world at exactly 666. That would be the mark of the beast. And if you take a step back and look at everything that surrounds this kid, all the signs are as bright as a blinking neon sign that something just ain't right with this little dude. There was that time his nanny hung herself at a party right after giving us the ultra eerie soundbite, "Look at me, Damien, it's all for you." Then there was that time he freaked out and attacked his mom the closer he got to a church. His new nanny, Mrs. Blaylock, is a creepy looking, suspiciously acting guardian who never seems to do what Damien's parents tell her to do. That's probably because she's secretly a servant to the devil. Animals seem to go nuts around the small child, as evidenced by a bunch of baboons in a zoo who literally go apeshit and attack the car that he and his mom are driving in. As a matter of fact, the only animal that seems to take a liking to Damien is a black watchdog that who else Mrs. Blaylock gives to him. Watchdog? I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a hellhound. It was also this time when he was riding his tricycle down the hall of the second story in his house, only to hit his mom, which causes her to fall over the staircase balcony, landing on the floor below, messing her up pretty badly that she has to be hospitalized. And if those weren't blatant enough signs, how about the 666 birthmark on his freaking scalp? I mean, if I were this kid's dad and I saw all that shit happening, I think I might stop for a second and say, maybe I'm raising the freaking Antichrist. Or maybe not. I mean, which parent hasn't thought that once or twice with their own children? The hair-raising imagery from these two kids pop out of your television. The third head on that mountain literally comes out of the television set herself to kill you. I give you Samara Morgan, better known as the scary-ass kid from The Ring. Samara was born with the power of projected thermography, or as Wikipedia puts it, the ability to psychically burn images from one's mind onto surfaces. I can trust the definition from Wikipedia, right? Right. Let's list some of Samara's greatest hits, shall we? Samara would burn images into her adopted parents' minds, causing her new mom to have bouts of Great Depression and suicidal thoughts. Quick survey, who doesn't like horses? Oh yeah, that would be Samara Morgan, who used her brain power on a bunch of those majestic creatures that lived at her parents' ranch, causing the horses to go nuts and drown themselves. And when her new mommy had had enough and threw little Samara down a well and sealed the opening, Samara survived for 7 whole days before eventually drowning. But did a little thing like death stop Samara? Nope. She was just getting warmed up. If you thought Samara the girl was a little unpleasant, wait till you meet Samara the evil spirit. Using her powers, she manages to make a cursed videotape. If you're lucky enough to feast your eyes on the short movie, you basically have 2 options. One, you can now copy the tape, making sure that more people will inevitably see Samara's directorial debut. Or 2, do nothing, and just like Samara, die in 7 days. Most people don't realize that they have to make the copy, so they die. How did they die? Well, basically, little Samara comes out of your television set, and once you take a gander at her grotesque face up close and personal, in a nutshell, she scares you to death. Samara was played by Devay Chase, who grew up to look like that. Maybe getting up close and personal with a face like that isn't such a bad deal after all. The last head on that mountain actually belongs to 2 heads, as you really can't have one without the other. It's the Grady twins, better known as the scary-ass kids from The Shining. Imagine you're a little boy riding his tricycle in an empty hotel floor, and you're stopped in your tracks by the vision of very creepy looking twins holding hands. They stare you down, all the while speaking what has now become the very infamous quote, "Come and play with us, Danny, forever and ever and ever." If that's not terrifying enough, quick flashes of the girls' bloodied, hacked, and butchered bodies make their cameos in between. One little girl doing that and saying that shit would be scary enough. Multiply that by 2, and that's just plain wrong. Enough said. I would venture to say that these 5 faces here have to make you stop and second guess having children of your own. So that's it! My Mount Rushmore of scary-ass kids. Reagan from The Exorcist, Damien from The Omen, Samara from The Ring, and the Grady twins from The Shining. If you don't agree with my list, leave a comment below. Keep up with everything that Gong's channel has to offer by subscribing. See you next time.